Hello and welcome. This is Japan, and we are doing a No Mercy prediction video. No Mercy is Sunday, so it's going to be right after Bash Berlin, so we're going to have a nice packed weekend of wrestling, and I think some really good quality wrestling. So we're going to jump into it. It's a pretty decently sized card compared to just like even the WWE like the main roster event. I do like the more palpable 5 to 6 cards. I really do like six. Like I think that is my key. I like having the six matches. So this one is six also. So I think this will also be pretty good. We'll go first right off the bat. This is the first one or the last match they added, which was the Wesley versus the Zachary Rents match. They've been playing up that Wes turned on the Rascals, and that this is them going back at it. I honestly don't see like how the way that they're building Wesley up that he loses here, because he's coming back as kind of like a heel, coming back that he really is like, I need to do it this way now, because if I doing it the way that I was doing it before, I'm not, I wasn't getting my stuff done. I'm war it and all that type of stuff. So I think if you add all that together, I think that Wesley needs the win here. Um, and plus, I mean, it's just kind of one of those things where you kind of want your WWE guy to win, because it's just kind of like, it's one of those things where you don't want to like have him lose here when he's still trying to get back over, and kind of into the, like, he's still in this men's division as one of the hotter performers because he's so good. So like you you know, can't have him lose that momentum unless it's just like a crazy win, or possibly the other rascal come in there and cost him. I could see something like that would also work. Next up, we have the NXT tag team match. Is a rematch basically of Chase U versus Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Now they just pulled the tag team titles off of Frazier and Axiom. I really don't see them flopping right back, so I'm gonna keep Chase U. I'll keep it pretty simple. Obviously, I think it's one of those things where we're building a story around Chase U also, with like a little bit of some problems inside with having obviously Rich Holland be the one that was in there instead of you know uh having an actual like full-time member. I guess he's like full-time now, but I think that that could be a little bit longer, and I think that there's not really a lot of men's tag teams that are like really hot now. It's only these two, so I think that's why you make this match so you have a pretty solid one. I think overall No Mercy is going to be one of those PLEs where it's just like there's going to be a lot of solid matches, but I don't see a lot of changing. Next up is the North American Championship, the men's, Oba Fetty versus Tony D'Angelo. I think Tony's going to have probably the closest chance to beat Oba Fetty. I do believe that he doesn't, though. Like, I feel like Obi has to lose this match in like a triple threat where he's not involved, because he's just so hot and so strong. Now, this right now, I believe, is the match of the night, because every PLE that Obi's on is normally he's the match of the night. Now, normally he has like some type of flyer or some type of smaller person he can throw around, but I still think he's going to do some crazy stuff with Tony D'Angelo, and I think both of them will have a really good showing. At least that's what I'm thinking off the bat, and I think he retains. I feel like out of everybody right now, it's the scariest one-on-one matchup that Obi can have for him to actually lose, maybe other than like Trick Williams. But if Trick's not there, then I do think Tony D'Angelo could have a shot at it, but I'm still going to pick Oba Fetty. I know I'll go back and forth, but it definitely is one of the harder ones to do. And you got the women's North American title with Keani Jordan versus Wendy Chu. They've set this up pretty well that there is a possibility that Wendy could win, but I do feel like they keep it on Kalani because she has like a pretty solid championship build. She's trying to get the promos down. She's starting to do some really good work. So like, I think getting rid of the championship for her just is kind of pointless, and like she can still build on it. I think she doesn't lose until one of those like big free agents come in. So I'm gonna go with Jordan. I think she's been solid, and I think it'll be not be worth. But I think this match will be a fun match because I think there's going to be some outside interference, and I think it's going to be overall a pretty good title defense. Next up, we get the women's championship. Now, I feel like this match is going to be one of those matches that we're all going to like, and it's going to be a solid match. But I think the after is going to be what we remember because I feel like somebody's debuting here. I think it's going to be Julia. I think Julia, it makes sense because she just finished up in Japan that Julia did. And I think that's the person that they were talking in the interview. If you saw on NXT last week, I believe Julia is going to be the one debuting. There's a possibility that if it's not Julia, the next best one would be Stephanie, obviously, because she's been signed for a little bit and she's already had an event. So I feel like that could also possibly be very high up there. But either way, one of those two are. I don't think Delta's quite there. I think she's probably still getting her sea legs over here. And I don't know if she's just finished over there. I don't know exactly when the timetable of her being able to start and all that type of stuff. So I think it's going to be one of those two debuting. At least like where they come out there and point at Roxanne Perez because I think Roxanne Perez obviously retains here and she's not going to lose until she loses to one of those big free agents, whoever to decide that has the hottest hand. So Roxanne will retain. Next up is the NXT match for the men's for the championship. Wow, that was just a bunch of word soup. This one's a weird one because if there's no special guest referee, I feel like Ethan Page wins no matter what. Like I don't know how he doesn't win. But because there's a special guest referee, like how does he beat the thing stacked? I don't really see Trick, doing it because like Joe Hendry's already given him a guaranteed title shot. So it's like why would Trick not stack the deck against Ethan Page? I still feel that there's some way that Ethan Page wins here. I don't know. I want Joe Hendry. I think he's so hot right now, and the way that they gave the title to LA Knight, who's another hot character. I think they are trying to ride some of that heat sometimes because I think that's like people are always like, well, it's just a flash in the pan, or it's only gonna last a couple months. Yeah, but some people never get over and never have that. They'll even get a championship and still never get over in that time. Like case in point, I feel like is like Damian Priest because I feel like Damian Priest was not really chosen to be a champion. Like I don't think a lot of people wanted him originally, and then he was having some struggles, and people were so ready for him to leave. And then now that he's doing the best work of his life, they want him to have the championship back. And I think that's like kind of like similar, where like you might not be over when you have the championship. But if somebody's already over and then gets it, then they can still ride that because we're talking about like the NXT championship that they could have flipped in 1 to 2 months. It's not a huge deal compared to like the women's championship that's I feel like those reigns are like a lot longer and I think we've seen that like being a lot longer. So like I feel like the men's title could flip back and it could go flip back to Trick Williams in a month or two, or Trick could turn heel at some point. Like there's a lot of stuff that like it sets up by having Joe Hendry win here. So I'm gonna go with Ethan Page just because I don't see how that like they would want to switch it. Like I don't see why they would switch it, but I feel like there's no way that Joe doesn't win. So it's just one of those weird ones. It's hard to really go. Like I just have it in my gut and in my bones that Ethan Page wins, but in my brain it makes no logical sense of why Joe would lose. I think it's gonna be one of those things where the ref gets like Trick gets taken out and they have to call another ref down there and it finishes like that. But yeah, that's been my predictions. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Who you guys picking? I also have the Bash in Berlin one, so you also tell me that too. And welcome to this channel because I've been trying to build it up. So if you guys like wrestling, this is what's going to be on there. There's some old content of gaming, but I'm eventually gonna, all that's going to be phased out. It's just going to be 100% wrestling. I got some of my old videos on here that I really like my Eric old videos and my like AEW prediction ones that I just had at the beginning of the week. So this is more of the WWE content. So if you guys like that, just make sure you follow. And bye guys.